This is Mario Solis-Marich, and this is a very special guest interview with Democratic House Leader Nancy Pelosi.
Now it's time for the weekly news roundup from mylatinonews.com.
I was able to talk to Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi just a few moments after she had left the Democratic House and Senate Hispanic Summit. This is what she had to say.
Thank you for taking your time to do this. I know how incredibly busy you must be right now.
Well, it's my pleasure.
First of all, I want to thank you for blogging with us during our special Latino Congreso coverage. That was quite an honor. We really enjoyed it. Got a lot of positive feedback from it. Okay. One of the things that you said in your blog, you said that the pursuit of social justice is what makes us strong. This quest has formed the moral character of this great nation. And then you went on to say, Democrats are ready to take the American people in a new direction. How do you plan to do that should you be our next speaker?
The first day of Congress, God willing, if the Democrats have the majority, we will take the country in a new direction. And it will be with the same priorities that are the priorities of the Latino community. It will be about a safe America. And God bless the community for being so patriotic. A safer America, and we'll begin by enacting the 9/11 Commission recommendations. That will be about a fairer economy. We'll begin by raising the minimum wage. It will be about better access to education. We'll begin by making college more affordable, by making it tax deductible. It will be about better access to quality health care, and we'll begin by lowering the prices on prescription drugs and promoting stem cell research. We'll be about promoting energy independence, and we'll begin by taking away the subsidies to oil companies and using it for alternative energy. And we will talk about a dignified retirement, and that was what we'll do every day to protect Social Security. So what I said were really the issues that families sit around the table and talk about: jobs, health care, education, safer neighborhoods, and a stronger America, and a dignified retirement.
That sounds absolutely like a Latino agenda. Let me ask you a question. Getting there is a different story. This week, the Republican-led Congress and the vast majority of Republicans voted to make it more difficult for Latinos, African Americans, and the elderly to vote by passing this, what I refer to as a high-tech poll tax, but basically requiring that everybody show proof of citizenship in order to vote in November. What are they up to? I see this as a desperate grab to try to hold on to power.
It is desperate, and it's interesting because it's presenting itself as a voting bill, but it came forth from them as an immigration bill. This is yet another one of their attempts to limit the participation of people in our country to the electoral process. They're afraid that people won't vote for them when they have their mean-spirited agenda. And we fought it on the floor. In fact, I quoted the judge in Georgia who just a day before that had said, "This cannot be. It's not constitutional," and he threw it out in the Georgia court at the state level. But in requiring this idea, you have hit the nail right on the head. It is a modern-day poll tax. It undermines the oath of office that people take to uphold the Constitution of the United States, because what they are doing is to limit the participation of citizens.
Right.
Citizens. And in the course of their debate, they're saying that there's a massive fraud of non-citizens voting.
Has there been any proof of that?
Nothing. There's no documentation for it whatsoever, and that's what we Democrats said on the floor. There is no documentation for this. If you have it, then why aren't you showing it to us? But you know it isn't true. And so this bill was, again, as mean-spirited as they come, and it struck very to the heart, the lifeblood of a democracy, the foundation of a democracy, the right to vote. So not only are they hurting the citizens from the black, Hispanic, Asian Americans, seniors, people with disabilities, not only are they hurting them, they're diminishing our democracy.
Well, and by the way, congratulations for the leadership that you showed on this. I mean, all but 3 Democrats voted against this.
Yes, we were very pleased.
You only got 3 Republicans. We needed more, but that's what taking over the House has got to be about.
Just get rid of all this stuff. Instead, our responsibility is to remove obstacles of participation, to facilitate voting. And we have a Republican Party that has withheld $800 million in the money that was supposed to be spent to remove those obstacles in the Help America Vote Act. They have held back nearly $1 billion, and they are now putting up further obstacles by requiring a photo ID, which many people in our country just really don't have access to. Go get a passport. Oh, really?
Right, exactly. And by the way, anything that our listeners could do, they're very hot about this issue. Please let us know, because obviously we lost in the House. We're still fighting in the Senate. Hopefully we could still stop it, because this sounds like a total disaster. But let me ask you more of an inside the Beltway question now. You know, before the Republicans took over the House, and the Democrats ran the Congress, ran the House, there was a lot more equity on the different committees. There was a lot more debate that was allowed for the Republicans. The Republicans have really clamped down in their, let's call it a leadership style, right? They've really clamped down and have not really allowed for democratic debate on the floor of Congress. It's been very limited. If let's say we come close, let's say we don't win and a majority in the House, but we come close, will any of that change, or do we just,
No.
The only way to take care of these guys, right, is to flat out win?
You just have to win. And when we win, and the reason I'm confident we can fulfill the promise we're making on minimum wage and health care, et cetera, is because when we win, our very first vote, that is the very first vote after the vote for Speaker, the very first vote is on the rules of engagement. And what we're saying is we have to be here for the American people. So our first provision will be about integrity. Break the link between legislation and lobbyists, so that we're here for the American people and not for the special interest. The people's interest, not the special interest. And then bipartisanship. This is wrong. This is not right, that the only way you have a voice on the floor of the House is if you're represented by a Republican or by the majority, whatever that might be.
Right.
So we are turning back to a time when there was more debate, a marketplace of ideas. And third, fiscal responsibility. So if you want integrity, you want honesty, civility and bipartisanship, and fiscal responsibility, you have to reject the Republicans at the polls, because only with that will you be able to, again, turn to a new direction for all the people, not just the privileged few.
We see conflicting polls today. We see one poll that is very good for Democrats. A couple days ago, the president seemed to be having a bit of a bounce. What's your sense right now? What's your latest intelligence?
I think the polls are good for us. I mean, any day that anybody wants to say that the Los Angeles Times at 10 points margin is not a good poll, right. I'll take 10 points. I'll take 5 points. I'll take 5 points right now going into the election. But there was 15 points in the New York Times today. It is true that the president got a little boost in the polls following 9/11 and his great, what he thought was his big initiative on national security. But it just didn't take with the American people. He's still in the low 40s, and that's not a good place for an incumbent president to be. But we're pleased with where we are, and the poll that had us at 15 points was ended on Tuesday, so it's the most recent poll. And then they'll have some more this week. It'll be 9, 10, 11. That's all very bad news for the Republicans. But it's not, this doesn't translate into a victory unless people get out to vote. You can have everyone persuaded, and you can have great margins in the polls, but if people don't come out and vote, then you end up with a special interest prevailing, because the Republicans, I'll be very honest with you, they will not be constrained by money, by truth, or by decency. They'll say anything in these campaigns. And what we want to do is say, look, we're here for your issues, to raise the minimum wage, make health care more affordable, to give you better opportunity to send your children to college, to have dignified retirement by preserving Social Security, by lowering your energy cost, by declaring our energy independence and moving forward, and to do all of that in a fiscally sound way. And none of it works very well unless we have a strong national security, and that's our first responsibility. But if we allow the status quo to continue, we'll just have more of the same, unfortunately.
Leader Pelosi, thank you so much for taking time with us here on the Mario Solis-Marich Show.
Thank you, Mario.
And we'll also be posting this on mylatinonews.com, and
Well,
we're gonna repost your wonderful blog. And once again, good luck to all of us in the coming 40 days.
So we say to our members every day, Latino values are American values. Our agendas are the same. Let's go fight for them.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Muchas gracias.
That was leader and perhaps future speaker Nancy Pelosi, and this is Mario Solis-Marich signing off.